Michael Bain, and welcome to our special episode of Triggered, where we finish up looking at SHOT 2023. Boy, what a lovely day media day at the range was. Lucky we didn't all blow away. One of my first stops is to Angstadt Arms, Fred Angstadt's company. A guy that's been doing great work. One of the things I really like is this 1022 I'm shooting has an integrally suppressed barrel, but it's suppressed in such a way that the barrel itself is really easy to clean. Now, if you've ever cleaned a 22 suppressor, you know how important that is. Also, the roller delayed 9mm pistols that Angstadt's developed, easily the best in the industry. Great stuff. We've talked before about the TM22. It's 22 semi-auto, comes with 15 round magazines. One of the things that I liked about the gun, the original gun, is you could strip down the parts and get an ultralight competition gun like you would run in Steel Challenge Rimfire, like you would run in the Rimfire Challenge, my baby, a sport that I helped birth. Well, here's a new version of the TM22, except it's the TM22 Light. It doesn't weigh anything. It's already light enough to really function as, say, a competition gun. Because when you're shooting a 22 for speed, what you want is the ability to run the gun between target to target to target, and you are driving it hard. So any extra weight in the gun is a problem. And that's why when you see a 22 competition rifle for speed, you see that it's been stripped down as far as you can. And advantage of this gun is most of it is plastic, which is exactly what we put on our race guns. It does have an adjustable stock, which is really good because you can fit the stock to younger shooter, newer shooter. You can make the stock fit perfectly. The magazines are cheap. And to me, the most important thing right here is an MSRP of 199 bucks. This is a sub $200 gun. This is a way to get you and your family in shooting, in competition. So take a good look at the TM22 from Rock Island. You all know that SDS Imports, TSIS are advertisers here on Triggered, and they had a lot of interesting guns at Media Day, especially shotguns. It's something that they've been focusing on bringing in from Turkey. And here you can see the inimitable John Farnham saying, "Hey, this is a pretty interesting looking shotgun, isn't it, Michael?" But you're going to see more and more of these Turkish shotguns. Now, out at the Clays range, which is the last place on earth I should ever be, we're looking at some additional SDS guns coming in from Turkey. A lot of work on these guns. This is a developing 3-gun shotgun that they've been working on for some time, and it's a great gun. It doesn't recoil all that much, not so much as you would expect from a 12 gauge, and it will actually break clays in the hands of someone other than myself. I think we know that I may well be the very worst clay shooter on earth, but I'm going to get better, I promise you. Here's something else coming from SDS. I forget which imprimatur this one's going to be, but it is a beautiful over-under shotgun coming in from Turkey, where they've been making shotguns like this for about 1,000 years. But this one is a beauty. This particular one's 20 gauge. It is a great shotgun. I believe MSRP is coming in under $1,000 or right about there, which is a breathtakingly good price for a really nice over-under shotgun. This would be a great shotgun to take to a Clays class, and for me, or maybe even for you, to be able to bring yourself up to speed and say, hey, it's about time we actually started breaking some clays instead of frightening some clays. One more thing to show you from shotgun, from SDS and shotguns. This is another dedicated 3-gun shotgun, and with that muzzle brake on it, watch this. Boy, that is a muzzle brake that works. You know, you can see that with a 12 gauge shotgun. A muzzle brake that works really smoothly. it almost makes you want to go back and shoot more 3-gun, which actually I'm going to be doing a little bit later this year. I think we've talked about it on MBTV, on the radio, on the podcast, but I might be going back with a Ruger rifle and who knows what shotgun. Okay, we are here at C&H Precision. Now, if you followed Triggered or you followed any of my shows, the podcast, you know that I've had a lot of guns milled to accept optic sights, and I've sent them to C&H Precision because they are the best. They also make adapter plates. When I was down at Glock working with Glock Professional, they said, hey, you need to have a C&H Precision plate in your Glock MOS system because those are the plates that we're using here at Glock Professional. Well, they've gone one step further now, and they've come out with their own sight, or will be coming out with their own sight. Obviously, the red dot revolution is over. The red dot's won. Forget it. But the change now is to the closed emitter sight. That is, in a completely enclosed sight. Why that's a good idea? Because it turns out there's something outside called weather. And sometimes, I know this is going to be hard for you to believe, but water actually falls from the sky. Smacks on the emitter. It's not that you can't use the sight, but it's not as clear. So when we talk about a closed emitter sight, which was a trend started by Aimpoint with their Acro, there are lots of closed emitter sights available. I'm really interested in this one because C&H Precision knows a lot about dot sights. It also is changeable reticles. I like that, going from a dot, a circle, a dot, and a donut. Typically, if I'm going fast, say in competition on plates, I want just a circle because a circle tells me what I need to know in order to pull that trigger. But I'm looking forward to this sight. I'm looking forward to testing this sight out. But there are a lot of closed emitter sights. So keep your eyes open because that's where the market's going. And remember, we were the first ones who told you that red dot electronic sights would take over concealed carry, law enforcement, military. Were we right or what? I'm here at the Viridian booth at SHOT 2023, and Viridian has become one of the major players, laser, light, and now sight holster categories. We worked a lot with the guys from Viridian on the launching of the best events that you're going to see in a month or so. Watch this. When I pick up this gun, you see a little pigtail fall away. That little pigtail is connected to a battery pack, and it's one of those magnetic connectors that doesn't stick in. So you never have to worry about your light losing power. When you set it in your bedside safe, when you set it wherever, all you've got to do is connect the power bank to it, and it's recharging the light. And this is one of the insanely bright lights. You can also turn it on disco if you really want to surprise your friends. Another thing that I wanted to point out, and this is an ongoing trend that we've mentioned all the way through our coverage of SIGHT 2023, this is Viridian's enclosed emitter sight, and it is very, very good. I got to see prototypes of it. I've seen it a number of times. Viridian does green. It's green lasers, now green dot sights. With my eyes, I pick up green substantially faster than I pick up red. And again, the huge advantage of an enclosed emitter is that in rain, in snow, in fill in the blank, the sight is protected. So Viridian has moved to offer a whole package. Another point from Viridian, they have their own holster. Holsters designed to fit their lights with their sights. It's a smart move. So you're able to actually buy a package. Say, okay, I got a gun, I need a light, I need a laser, I need a red dot sight, I need a holster. You get it all from Viridian. Recover Tactical is a really interesting company. I'm a fan of their products, essentially their chassis systems for Glock type pistols, where the pistol drops into a chassis that turns it into either a braced pistol, or I think what we're seeing here are short barrel rifles. One of the things I like about the Recover system is their Recover Tactical's a minimalist system that I have here. I elected to turn it into a short barrel rifle because we're going to deal with all these pistol braces, all the ATF overreach on pistol braces. I think 26 state attorney generals and every major gun company has filed suit against them. It'll be years before we really know what's going on here. But I made the decision sometime back, actually, to turn my Recover Tactical chassis into a short barrel rifle, which means that the Glock that's in that Recover chassis tactical the receiver, the Glock, the gun part of the gun has been registered. I have a tax stamp for it, all those things. These are, as you can see when he quickly folds it up there, this is the minimalist Recover Tactical that I am in fact a huge fan of. I think it is one of the best iterations of a PDW, a personal defense weapon that you can get. Another thing that I love, Taurus is growing by leaps and bounds. Of course, they've been a sponsor for us. I love it that Rossi is reintroducing pistols, new pistols, lever guns. I love the Heritage system, Heritage Company, which is a subsidiary of Taurus, and they make like single action revolvers, and they made some, you've seen them on Triggered, some really interesting and quirky single action revolvers. I'm not making fun of anyone here, but you know, when you're shooting a revolving cylinder rifle, it behooves you to know how it works, because otherwise you get your fingers stung just a little bit, or if it isn't a 22, you get it stung a lot. But this is one of those cases where you're waiting for the staggering recoil of a 22 out of a 16-inch barrel. And, oh, wait, there wasn't any recoil. I really liked that little gun. It was fun to shoot. You know, we took it out for Triggered and shot it a lot. But Heritage is selling single actions, and they're selling them very inexpensively, and I think that's great. I mean, I would like to introduce as many people to single actions as I could. You know, I was cowboy action shooter for a long time. I've collected single actions. I've shot many of them, and there's really nothing more fun than a 22 single action. I have to say that. Although, wow, you notice any wind? The umbrella blows away. We got a Mary Poppins situation on our hands. Gone, but some long-range stuff. I mean, the wind was very vicious. This is a Cadex, C-A-D-E-X. Their new precision rifle. I believe this is a 6.5 Creed. But it's number one, it's beautiful. I mean, if you're going to get a precision rifle, I say, why don't I get it in red? I mean, I think I have two, and one is in bright yellow, and the other's in OD green, because I'm that kind of guy. But this rifle is a magnificent rifle. It's like, I don't know, $5, something. 5,000. I thought 500. You said we were probably going to pick up the phone and order immediately. But nope, it's about 5,000. But boy, it is a great shooting rifle. I think it's on one of their own tripods. And one of the fun things, like shooting long range like this, is when you got a great spotter who's like done all the work for you. So all you have to do is not screw the gun up. And initially I said, hey, well, you know, why don't I shoot it like, 500 yards? Because you worry. And he laughed. He goes, no. The far target is 920 yards. You know, there's a large 920 yards and a small 920-yard target. And he had it completely dialed in because he wants everybody to look good on this rifle, right? But it's an easy rifle to look good on. Breathtakingly good trigger, absolutely, just totally amazing. And I think you can see here at various times, you can see like it starts raining and the water's dripping down. You know, the wind is whipping. But the great thing about long range shooting where there's a spotter involved, the spotter is everything. The spotter essentially, he says, hey, Michael, why don't you give me a mill on the left-hand side of the target, pull the trigger, and impact, It's the spotter is what takes you through it. It gets a lot harder when you're doing it by yourself. We went to the smaller 920-yard target, and once again, spotter information, giving me a hold, where I need to. I think a mill left, something like that, and hold against the wind, getting impact, and you're like, well, maybe I should stop shooting. These are still photos over at Navy Arms. I wanted to show you this because we're going to be doing something with it a little bit later in the year. This is an FRF2, French sniper rifle used by the French Foreign Legion. I have one coming. Navy Arms has been able to find all of them with original sights. In conjunction with Lucid Optics, in May, we're going to be going up to Cody, Wyoming with some of the great military snipers, working out with some old tech and seeing how that lines up with new tech. We've talked about single actions, right? This is from Taylor's and Company. It's one of my favorite companies. I've got a lot of their guns. This single action is really special because it's in 9mm ACP. Just think of what Jesse James could have done with a 9mm single action. And our friends at Lucid, we talk about them all the time. There's a lot of enclosed emitter sights here. This is the E7 Lucid. It is an enclosed emitter sight. I am looking forward to getting my hands on one, as I believe very strongly. Enclosed emitter sights are kind of going to be the future of red dot sights. So, I think we have covered just about everything. Thanks for joining us on our special for SHOT 2023. I'm Michael Bain. This is Triggered. Find us on michaelbain.tv. Find us on YouTube. Find us on Rumble, but definitely find us. See you next week.